ours truly. We've come back. We missed you. Of course. I'm just kidding. Who else could I possibly bring back for the return of the Boob Toob other than this random guy that I think I met at one point in time? I don't know. Everybody seems to think that we've hung out together. Like, I'm pretty sure that it's some kind of like astral projection or some noise and everything else. But there's this guy, and I mean that with a G-A-I, not G-U-I or G-U-Y, whatevs. But yeah, so there's this guy that I've heard of called 8-Ball. And that would be this person. At least on my screen, it looks like they're over here. But, in Zoom land, that means that they could be over here or over here. You just never...
See, I've just got you on the phone, so, like, you're, like, full screen, and I'm just in the corner right there, which is usually how it goes, just me in the corner for some reason.
Welcome. Most people usually pay a lot of money to have me, like, covering all of their screen.
Yeah, that's my favorite saying. That costs extra.
I mean, but aren't we both extra at the end of the day?
Oh, very much so. I may dress like gutter trash, but when I dress out, I dress out. And when I dress like gutter trash, I dress out.
I mean, everybody kept telling me that I needed to have this, like, Skabz The Clown guy, and I was just like, Skabz The Clown, who the...
Yeah, no, fuck that guy. He's I don't know. I've heard of him. Not funny, terrible, horrible performer.
But no good.
And he smells like a bag of genitals. A sweaty bag of genitals.
That's like the rudest. Like, why is that even happening? How did you meet this person?
Alcohol.
Oh.
Alcohol, poor decisions, and part of it was going sober and learning how to juggle, and then drinking again and having to reteach myself how to juggle drunk.
More fun to juggle while drunk or no?
It depends on what I'm juggling. Like juggling, balls or clubs, that's one thing. But if I'm juggling like cleavers or knives or animal traps or tasers or whatever dumb thing I feel like juggling that day, sometimes the dumb stuff is better left to the sober kids.
Oh man, we've already got our first comment here in the chat room from a Chris Broken. Yes, a Chris Broken, and he says, "Yo, Skabz and Zilla." Who the hell's Skabz?
I don't know.
I have a Skabz here. We have an 8-Ball. That's who we have. You don't need no Skabz. Skabz is a skinflint. There, you heard it here.
I mean, if we want to go based on what you see, I'm probably barely.
Oh man. Scabs? You're barely covered in scabs.
Barely.
Now this is awkward. But that's okay. All right. So people keep saying, hey, you two work together. We're like, I've never worked with the Skabz. I worked with like a lot of big names.
You could have stopped right there and be like, we never worked.
No, I know, right? But it's like, so I've worked with big name celebrities, and I've also worked with a lot more no-name celebrities, or regular people, without all the prestige.
Yeah. My name's not in any credits.
I mean, how would you?
No, actually, no, it isn't. I was in a movie once, but I wasn't in the credits. I was just an extra.
Now, I mean, so we're talking about juggling a whole bunch of stuff, and I would like to go back to the most important part is the fact that you were saying you were juggling balls. So 8-Ball is juggling balls, and that's right. So when we've got everything going on, and you're, 8 balls running around juggling these balls. What kind of balls would these people expect to see? Are they sticky? Do they get sticky in the center? Do you need to put like a deodorant on them?
Well, I mean, to be fair, I am in Houston, so when summer starts, which is usually January, and then ends around December, yeah, balls tend to get really sticky. Balls, yeah, stay very sticky. But like I let them, after a while, they tend to get like a fuzz on them. So that helps with the stickiness. You just leave the fuzz. You could shave it off, but I mean, why would you? I mean, be proud of it. Grew it yourself.
I mean,
I say that, but I just shaved my whole face.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with like styling your fuzz and everything else. Like, create a little bit of that's some good stuff right there.
I've definitely got fuzz a few times too.
I mean, I guess what would it be like if you waxed your balls, though? I mean, would that ruin their stage?
If I were to do that, like, I don't think I would do it for aesthetic. I would just do it on stage. Yeah. I'm down to keep them trim and everything, but waxing them at home, no. They'd have to be on stage, and people would have to pay extra.
I hear there's these fancy people who use like this genital shaver called a lawnmower, but I'm not sure how that would work on your balls, though. Sure, it might be fine for genitals, but what about juggling equipment? I mean, that's the real problem, okay?
Dangerous juggling equipment, poor quality.
No.
Like everybody, like when I tell people I'm a juggler, that's one of the first things they ask. They're like, "You juggle chainsaws?" I'm like, "No, those are fucking expensive." Like the cheapest one I've found that is a legit, made for juggling chainsaw. A single one was $250. And I mean, I thought about it. I did. I was like, I could get one and then just juggle it with like clubs or something, but still, like that's also one of those ones, like if I drop like my clubs or my knives, no big deal. If I dropped a whole ass chainsaw, like I'd be kind of upset.
I mean, who wouldn't at that particular point? I mean, it's a saw full of chains, and like, that's like super badass.
Yeah. I mean, it'd probably look really cool. There'd probably be some sparks and stuff. I mean, everybody likes sparks.
But what would happen if you got sparky balls? Like, wouldn't that ruin them too? I mean, then you get like sparky, fuzzy balls. Like, this is getting complicated. Like,
to be fair, like, my balls do have some metal in them, so I mean that makes them a little heavier when it comes to juggling. Wait, what are we talking about?
That is the important part of the show. I mean, we thought we were tuning in for the Boob Toob, but we are talking about 8 balls.
Mm-hmm.
We want to.
This is what the people want.
Well, I mean, look, for those of you who have never tuned into the show, understand that we are running within PG-13 guidelines to make sure that we tell nothing but PG-13 humor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I was talking about, juggling.
Yeah, because we're immature. That's why. So we're talking about balls and how you maintain balls. And like, what kind of balls should you juggle, and how should you carefully juggle and curate and like, just perfect your ball juggling, and like, the technique that goes into like, how you cup them, how you toss them, pair them. All of these are very important issues. And I've always wondered, like everybody else, like, do you just chalk up your balls and everything else before you hit the field? I mean, that's what I do. I am a liberal chalk user. I like to toss them up. Like, just toss that ready to go.
Yeah, you get it chalky. I mean, you can make your own chalk in a really terrible way. But like, when I first started juggling, I started with hacky sacks, just like anybody else. Like, I'm not going to I can't find juggling balls at the store. So yeah, we got hacky sacks, and like most balls, they come in kind of tight, so you got to massage them a little bit, squeeze them. That way they've got a little give when they land in your hand. They don't just bounce, because bouncing could be bad. Like, I mean, unless you're into that thing. What's that?
How much does that hurt to bounce your balls in your hand like that when they're fresh out?
Depends on how callous my hand is, I guess.
Oh.
Like it kind of hurts the hand when it's soft.
Well, that's a whole different level that I didn't even anticipate that.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm glad I broke Zilla.
I had to learn something new, that the calluses on your hand will affect how you handle your balls. I mean, like I didn't think of it, and of course it makes sense. So this is good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like after a while, like we were talking about earlier, the balls get fuzz on them, and sometimes you got to trim that. Otherwise, or sometimes it's good to leave it there because less sticky, I guess, with a little bit of fuzz on it. But once you get rid of the fuzz, and this Texas heat, yeah, they just get sticky, and you don't want to juggle sticky balls.
So when you got your name 8 Ball, is it because you would juggle 8 balls?
No, I can't even do that now that I've been juggling for a while. No, actually, I got the nickname 8 Ball in high school. The house I grew up in, we had a pool table in the garage, or the garage room. It was converted, had a pool table, like darts and shuffleboard. And I grew up just playing pool all the time. And my friends would come over and I'd shark them. And then I got older and started going to pool halls and sharking people. And that led down a really weird part of my life. And yeah.
And
now I'm not very good at pool. I haven't played in years.
So that's how, it's the same thing every time. I constantly hear about jugglers having the same origin story. They went down a weird alley that they weren't supposed to, and they always came back juggling things that they probably shouldn't have in the first place. But
yeah.
Now you're talking about balls. I know we've been focusing a lot on your balls, but you know what? We'll get back to your balls.
Yeah, my balls do deserve some appreciation.
Yeah. I'd like to go ahead and talk about the more dangerous stuff that you do besides juggling.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know that you have upgraded up to the juggling club, so you could go clubbing at any point in time, and which it's really important for the COVID social distancing and everything else. A lot of us are missing going to the nightclub scene and everything else, but I'm assuming you just put your pill up in the dark clubs and go outside and juggle to recreate the nightclub scene, correct?
Yeah, I sit there, I juggle on my patio, with bowling. I do actually have some bowling clubs, but I go up while I'm juggling, and just kind of have a little dance party, and then either it's a toss up whether my neighbors yell at me first or my girlfriend, and it's usually my girlfriend because she tells me fairly often how loud I am.
She never comes out with a scorecard?
No, she's like, it's 3 a.m.
I can imagine how great that is.
And I'm just like, sorry. And then she goes inside and goes back to bed. And I'm like,
Oh, get to it. You cut the music. I thought this was disco hour. Isn't this what this is? Isn't that what we're doing?
We're just gonna like beatbox the whole time and jiggle. I'm down to jiggle.
Oh, wait. Where'd the beatbox go?
I don't know how long I can do that. I feel like I'm gonna try and do that for so long I'm just gonna pass out or something. I forgot to breathe while I was beatboxing.
Oh man, Jeff with the G is all up in our business screaming "Yo pest party." He is obsessed with you.
Oh yeah, that was a joke for a while. That was the name of my bit on the Gong Show, Pest Party. You've done. I've heard you've done television shows before, so you're kind of in correspondence with producers for months at a time, and it went from having me as myself to having me as a softer style clown, a little cleaner, to me just being there and looking like a weirdo, to eventually me dressed like an exterminator putting roaches in my mouth. So I mean, like, it was, I would have rather done it, as a character, a mock of a certain character, but I ended up just being myself. I wouldn't even ape while I was Chris. They they airbrushed the tattoos on the back behind my ears, so you couldn't see them on network television, because old people watch network television and people with tattoos are crack whores and like junkies and Satan worshippers.
Woo!
I know, it was way more fun, right? They also made me wear a beanie because I have stupid hair.
Right. Oh man, we've got people watching. We got Chris, who's also obsessed with you. This is great. I love the fact that you brought all your stalkers into the chat room. I just
invited a bunch of dudes named Chris.
Yeah, and scary. Hot. Scary.
Wonder if there is a name fetish.
Oh man. And Jeff's sitting there talking about needs cooter on the wash tub bass. Why would you want a wash tub bass? I mean, I guess
messy. Like the rest of your clothes would smell bad afterwards. Where do you do the bass last?
I guess it could be read as wash tub bass if you're a musician, but that's not nearly as funny as the way I read it the first time.
Wash tub bass doesn't make any sense.
What is this? People are sitting there Skabz the Clown. People want, like, logical crap. Are we
this is 2020. Logic is out the window.
I mean, what is 2020 anymore? What is anything anymore? Time isn't real and nothing matters.
No. It's like either, turn the simulation off or stop the planet. I'm done. I'm over it.
I don't know. I think it just
seems like a good time to stop. We made it this far, guys. Like, let's be done.
I don't know. I'm kind of enjoying making it even more weird. Like, I think I'm gonna join like the cyber rave dancers and everything else that people are always like dubbing over their music to, like to top of the train and crap. I think I'm gonna choose.
The little cyber goth kids under the bridge. Yeah. Oh man, the best one I've seen. There was two of them actually. They dubbed over Biggie Smalls, and then the best one was Thomas the Tank Engine. So it's just like dun, 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 dun. That one was great.
I liked it when they did it to polka.
Yeah, the polka was good.
Yeah.
But man, like, I wish I had friends like that where we could all dress up and dance under a bridge together.
Do it. I mean, so there was that one time that I did stay in your house. I guess we could do that again, where I stay in your house and then we could wake up and like go be skids in an alley and like do cyber club dancing and everything else just out in broad daylight.
Hell yeah. There's no alleys really around my area, but there's plenty of like bayous and underpasses. So we've got options. One of the underpasses is like no vacancy. There's definitely already people, dancing there. Sometimes they dance, other times they sleep.
And to really disappoint everybody even further, just in the spirit of 2020, we will be doing this absolutely sober.
Yeah, sober. This is water. I left that over there.
Sober.
Oh man, I might have to get up here in a second because I actually have one of those.
Got one of these?
Yeah, I've got a red one. I got it from the Hootenanny one year. I won one of the raffles, and like I posted it on Facebook, and that's how I met Christopher Campbell.
Oh man, Jeff with the G said there is behind the dumpster. I forgot about hanging out behind the dumpster. You know, dumpsters are where it's at.
Yeah, you can find all kinds of cool stuff in the dumpster.
Like there's people there.
I found a shelf behind the dumpster the other day, and like there was a bunch of people like barbecuing outside, and I'm just like looking at this thing. I'm like, huh, just grabbed it, and they're like, what? Like it's still good. I'm using this. Like.
Real, like I've actually gotten some pretty cool stuff out of the dumpster, like myself and my dignity. My dignity was a good find. That was a very good find. I found that on Big Trash Day. That
is a good find. Like I think mine was just like buried under like probably some diapers or something. Like I could not find it.
Oh man, actually I found some like projector lenses. Speaking of projectors, you know those like old school projectors, you know, that had like, you know, where you put like the laminates on top of the like screen and then it would project onto. So I found a couple of those. And I was just like, this is awesome. But it was like, what are you gonna do with this? And I was actually, I'm gonna be painting some murals, and that's exactly what I did.
Like, going back real quick, I do actually have dignity tattooed on me.
What? Where?
On my back. But it's going to take a certain kind of nerd to know about it, to know what the meaning is, or to recognize it. Where is it? There we go. Can you see that?
Oh, wow. Look at that. I thought it was...
Nope, dignity. The only people who get that reference are huge Simpsons nerds. Yeah. Don't you know dignity when you see it?
I surprisingly feel the same way. Chris was talking about the patio at Kryptonite.
Wait, which Chris was talking about that?
Chris of Broken.
Chris Broken. Oh man, the patio at Kryptonite. Kryptonite had like the worst and best reputation for like any venue in Houston. Kryptonite, it was a really cool like basement style building that was like, you walk in from the street, it's like right next to a bridge. You walk in from the street and then you go to the front door, show your ID, and then you go downstairs and you're like kind of in this like big basement area. They've got separate rooms, DJs, lights, all kinds of stuff. And then the patios were like just concrete offshoots that went under the freeway and like over the bayou. But God, it was like, what was it, Thirsty Thursdays there, or no, 50 Cent Wednesdays or whatever, but it was at 50 cents for a beer. And I was there talking to one of the promoters because I was about to do a show there. And he's like, you know, just typical promoter over the mic, you know, like DJ's playing. So he's like, well, we got a good time here with DJ Buttfart. And, have some fun, guys. Woo! 50 Cent beers, you know, doing the whole, just a hype man thing. And then we're talking to this guy, and this very young woman comes stumbling up, being held up by her friends, and just straight up falls over in front of us. And the promoter's like, oh, fuck, is she okay? And her friend goes, she's 21. He's like, what's her name? She's like, I forgot her name. He was like, Ashley. And he was like, give it up for Ashley. Oh, Ashley's having a great time out here on the patio. So it was a fun place, but it was notorious for deplorable behavior, basically.
We're gonna have to next time we do a pretend show together where people seem to think that we do that thing where we work.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have you MC me on stage. Probably gonna go back to stripping because.
You want me to do it like strip club announcer style?
Yes. Like I gotta tell you, every time that I worked at a strip club, every time I got announced, it was always so bad. So I just finally started like announcing myself with the microphone, and it was like, "Why are you talking?" And I'm all like, "Because I'm about to announce myself. Check it out! I'm here. I'm hot." Because why bother? By the way, I run my own music.
I'll record something for you for intros when we can actually like walk on a stage again and perform. Like, all right, guys, get ready to turn your dollars into paper airplanes for those twins coming on stage. Twin Towers joke. I'm sorry.
It's okay. This is why people tuned into the show, I think, to check out my variety candidates. Yeah.
I mean, that's the only reason I agreed to do this. I'm just like...
I think it's the only reason why I do this show and everything else, so I can watch my own boobs. Like... Snoopy,
I'm gonna start doing that for my shows. I'm just gonna stare at my crotch the whole time because I can't see it on camera. And I also don't want to pull back too far and show the camera because there's a hole in my crotch and I'm not wearing panties. My bright orange safety shorts have a bit of a safety problem. Because they are bright orange safety shorts.
No safety dance for those shorts.
No, they don't deserve a safety dance. No Devo for them.
No, they can't dance if they want to.
Oh my God, I saw Devo hats, like from the music video, but they were face masks too. That somebody was selling recently. So it's Devo hats with the face mask attached, so you can go to the grocery store looking like Devo.
Why are we all doing this?
I know, right? Like, just play like safety dance, like not continuously at the grocery store, and everybody will be shopping like, and just be all happy. Everybody loves safety dance.
Oh yeah, I forgot. That's why I showed up to do the show. For you to be next to me to jingle. That's what this whole show is about. So
I thought you were waiting for like a safety dance reference or Devo. Not me convincing you to jiggle.
Press play again.
Yeah, folks out there, you can actually watch this later on. Just a heads up, it's archived.
We got a shout out from Afro King screaming, "I miss fixation!" They did it in all caps.
Oh my God. Afro King, I'm not sure who that is, but buddy, I miss fixation too. We haven't done one in a while. We were actually talking about bringing it back, and then shit happened, obviously. But Fixation was a show that my good friend Emily Snow, who is a model, fetish doll, sex worker, she's a really cool person, one of my best friends, and we kind of had the idea of like, what would happen if a clown and a fetish doll threw a party? And it just became like the coolest adult variety show in Houston for a good couple of years. We did it monthly, had all kinds of awesome performers from like Houston, mostly Texas surrounding area. We were very much we didn't really like keep it strictly to established performers. If somebody wanted to have burlesque a try, it was like, okay, cool, send us a video, and if you got your stuff down, we'll let you have a stage. Or it would be like, all right, here's a guy getting wrapped in saran wrap with a leather dog mask on and being spanked on stage. All right, who's next? Oh, a juggler. It was just one of those shows. It was the adult variety show, and it was so much fun.
So it turns out Afro King on the chat listing themselves as Afro. It's Michael, by the way.
Oh, Michael Jedi. Why do you call yourself? Oh yeah, you do have epic hair, bro. But I figured you would have gone with Jedi. No, good buddy of mine from Houston. Haven't seen him in forever either, for obvious reasons. But yeah, flow artist. He's a lot of fun.
No, hey Joy, what's up? And no, that is not Bear, but he is wearing Bear Lead shirt, so it's barely Bear.
Barely.
And And Jeff with the G is chiming in and talking about how amazing your butt looks. Also, would like to say the dog saran wrap act was something.
It definitely was something. I mean, there was one act where we had Domina and her pets, like, what did they do? They, like, bound somebody, and the Domina bound the girls and then attached them to a wagon and then had them pull her around in circles on stage, and we had some wild acts. One of the ones Emily and I did, I mean, you know me, I'm very conservative, but I ended up, like, stripping all the way down to just the thong, and I laid on the bed of nails, and Emily, you know, goes up to stand on me, and we had strategically placed a small metal thing that usually goes in an orifice. You know, those things, if we're keeping it PG-13, you know, it's shaped like kind of like a mushroom. It's about that big, usually the average size. When she stepped up, that fell right out of her butt and landed on the floor. And it was just like, it was a metal one, so like right on the stage. And then I was like, "Oh, you dropped something."
Excuse me while I grab my microphone and say, no!
And speaking of stuff like that, you know, when things change, might have to get you to come down here and perform at a fixation sometime.
Yes, let's do it.
Yeah, you know, you've got a place to crash. I've actually got like a 2-bedroom apartment now.
There was one time where I did stay at 8 Ball's apartment. This is before this weird Skabz the Clown mythical creature that ever existed. And they're like, "Hey Zilla, do you want to stay in this random person's house?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, why the hell not?" Do this. Do they have candy? I do like it when strangers have candy. And so 8 Ball actually, like, paired off from his own room, and he's like, "You can totally sleep in, you know, in a small place, but you can sleep in our bed, you know, we appreciate that you're touring the town." And I was like, "Yeah, sure, totally fine." And so we get into this room, and it's surrounded with tarantulas, spiders, and bugs. And everybody, you know, anybody else that would have, like, walked into that place would have been like, "Ah!" And I was just like,
yeah, I like fun friends. They're all
they're all gonna come out and try to hug me.
Yeah, that's what they do. But I mean, look, they're so cute.
Oh my! So you're gonna put that one in your mouth too?
It's too big. That's what I always say because I don't want to do it.
Michael's flaming mousetrap on your jug.
That was for a friend's benefit show. I had a couple of friends doing, what was it, Performers Without Borders, where they, you know, have to raise money, and they join up with this group. They travel to Africa, and they teach, you know, like tribal children, impoverished children, like just circus acts. So they're teaching these kids how to juggle. They're teaching kids like hula hoop and stuff. And I'm totally down for that. I think it's awesome. You know, give these kids like something to learn, something to do, like give them something like to do with their time because they have nothing else. But yeah, I've supported the hell out of that. I don't think personally I'm good enough to do it myself because I'd be like, "All right, kids, here's how you snap a mousetrap on your tongue." But they were raising money. They did a benefit show, and I was part of it. And I was like, if we raise X amount of money, my friends gave me wicked mousetraps. So the metal part that slaps down had a wick on it. And like that, you know, I was snapping on my tongue normally. You know, I was like, snap it on my junk. You know, we get this much money. And I think it actually came out to like a little over $500. But nobody had alcohol. And this like came up like pretty on the spot, and I was like, oh, fuck, okay, well, we got white gas, a bunch of burners here. And what I meant to do was just get like a little bit on there, but it had a little too much, and it was burning really high, and I was like, okay, if I let it burn any longer, the metal's going to get way too hot. But fuck it, I have to go for it. My plan was snap, yank. And what had happened was... I was wearing, a dumb, tattered clown shirt that is normally reserved for like the haunted house shows, so I look a little dirtier. And it had like part of the shirt just like hanging down because it had been cut. And instead of grabbing the mousetrap off, I just grabbed the shirt and yanked that and left it on there. And then like, yank it off and just like, I think, man, if I look around for it, I can probably, there's a good video. I'll send it to you with consent. You do see junk. Yeah, but totally with your consent. If you'd like to see it, I'll totally send it to you.
No, why not?
But also, if you'd like to see, I still have a scar. And these are the things that I do for my friends.
I mean, it reminds me of there was the time where I was working with one of my sideshow one of my sideshow buddies, but like he's like my brother, Drew Blood, and so like he was.
That's when I supposedly met you, was with Drew Blood.
Yeah.
I believe Helen Fury and was there somebody else?
That would have been David the Goliath.
Yeah, David. No, I don't think David was there the first time I met you. I think David was there like the second time I met you. So I think it was just the three of y'all.
Yeah, because it was a sleepover. He was there for the sleepover.
Yeah, but that was for the Outlaw Dave show. The first time I met you was at Natsuo, that little downtown bar that was really like artsy and weird.
Yeah, so the first time I was there at Natsuo, that was when I was traveling with Cutthroat Freak Show, and the second time I came through, that was when I was there, because I got booked there independently, and so I was there on sideshow.
Yeah, Pickle Punk. Yeah, I think Cutthroat was probably the first time then. Because I remember being at that show and meeting Cutthroat and Candy Pants, and yeah.
So we got people that are cheering you on, saying that you should put your trap gone wrong on clips for sale, and
I
sell it on OnlyFans. That's what everybody else is doing. Do it.
That's the thing, dude. Like I made a joke on Facebook the other day. I was like, if I had an OnlyFans, what do you think would be on it? And a lot of people were really wholesome. They were like, like talk about each one of your pets. Your spiders, your lizards, everything you have. Just like give a little couple minutes of information about them. And then other people were like, set your ball sack on fire. I'm like, oh Jesus! It was just like a range of wholesome to like do something that's so painful you want to die afterwards. Like, so I'll probably start like a flat rate of like $5. But I mean, I'm honestly thinking about it and just having like the most random content on there. Like, I'll record myself like driving or like pooping or feeding my bugs or juggling or I'm really thinking about it. And then just dumb videos of me like helicopter.
Okay, well, all right. Look, Michael, when you say your act just naked, I can't tell if you're talking about my act, his act, both of our acts. If we're just gonna do like a simultaneous like naked on naked through a Zoom show and make it available to the public, whatever.
Yeah. I'm down, but that costs extra.
I mean, yeah, no, that's definitely going to be a ticketed event, which, by the way, thank you for everybody who has been tipping through Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, and, as much as you have been attempting to, even though I can't see you, I can feel you taking your debit card and trying to swipe it. It's not going to work, okay? So meanwhile, thank you for those of you who have been tipping to the PayPal, Cash App, Venmos. We appreciate you very much. Yeah, we will be. You know what? Now that we said it, now we absolutely have to, because if we say it to the public, and now it's just like some kind of like societal obligation or oral contract or something about your balls again. So we will do a naked show, and we will make it available, and we will be selling tickets very soon. I heard that OnlyFans is going to garbage, according to Joy, which that doesn't surprise me now that everybody's on there.
Yeah.
Back to your bugs, 2 points. One, I would like to see this happen, but only putting out the picnic tables for their squirrels in their backyard. I want to see a mini picnic table in your mouth for the cockroaches to have a proper freaking dinner.
Okay, honestly, I thought about that a long time ago. So, you remember years and years ago when tech decks were cool? The little finger skateboards?
Yes.
They had stuff like that, like mini park benches and stuff like that. And I was like, I want to put this in some kind of like enclosure, with like a tarantula or roaches or whatever. So like make it look like a little park setting, but with bugs everywhere.
Absolutely.
I've also a train set full of scorpions and beetles is definitely something I want to do.
Yeah, I think that definitely needs to happen. And also, so does this mean that you're also going to maybe set up like a mini kitchen inside your mouth so you can teach them how to cook and have like a little bug cooking show?
Oh man, I don't know. Like, do you think Joe's apartment would sue me?
Chris is all like, Skabz doing stunts naked, finally something familiar and normal during this pandemic.
I don't know what you're talking about. I am never new.
I guess the internet is tired of seeing me naked. I guess I'll leave now.
You're going to miss me when I'm gone.
Yeah, it's fine. I get a break. This is cool.
So I didn't get to the last picture or video you sent me because I took a long nap. But I did post, I think, 3 or 4 of the 5 or 6 pictures and videos you sent me. I got them up and I made dumb jokes. Just like I said I would this morning.
I'm excited. I'm flipping excited. And for those of you who think that, that things are going to be like stupid now, they're going to be stupid later too. The stupid will continue, which, by the way, right after the Boob Toob will be Skabz with the really stupid show for really stupid people.
Mm-hmm. It is really stupid. I've heard of that guy.
I know. Who the hell is this Skabz guy? Like, everybody keeps referencing Skabz.
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't pick him.
Gross. Should there be a Band-Aid on that guy by now? Or is he just... Isn't a scab just nothing more than like a fleshy Band-Aid anyhow?
Pretty much. It's nature's Band-Aid.
Yeah.
Yeah, if your friend gets cut, you can pull one of yours off and give it to him. And I don't know what's worse, doing that to somebody or coughing in their mouth right now.
Oh my God, there's this, I knew I shouldn't have brought you on the show because now you're bringing all the stalkers to the yard. We got Hot Todd Lincoln.
He's a weirdo.
Yeah, he's all
He is kind of hot, though. It's in his name.
He wants to touch our butts and everything. And
that
then,
costs extra.
That definitely costs extra. And then Chanel
Not
saying,
much extra. Not for Todd.
Oh, I miss you too. She misses us both. Chanel. Chris is like, Skabz, the one you'll pick. Ow!
Because we all need healing.
Ow. You know what? Because y'all keep going on about it. Put some ointment on it.
I want some that's made of lard, and it'll be my ointment.
Gross. my anger. I'm glad that everybody has been tuning in for all of our really crappy jokes and spending time with us as we talk about balls and jiggling and clubbing and, just the important things in life.
I just want y'all to know that this is your own fault for assuming people named Boobzilla and Skabz were going to be entertaining. Luckily, Skabz isn't here.
You know what? It's finally time that we should come out and talk to the public. We should really tell them the truth.
I don't know if they're ready for the truth.
I'm Skabz.
I knew it. And I am barely.
I thought you were Boobzilla.
Oh, shit. If I'm Boobzilla, then who's barely? Where did I get this shirt?
Oh, I barely knew.
Help!
Better scabs than a rash. You know what? That's valid.
Yeah, that's true. I'd definitely rather have a scab than a rash. But if it's one of those rashes that turns into scabs, I don't want either one.
Great. We're going to have another
guest. Keep you from scratching, though. Don't scratch your itches.
Who's going to be eczema?
Isn't that isn't that a drag performer?
I mean, it should be if it's not already.
Yeah, eczema's a great name. It sounds so pretty. It's unfortunate. Hi, I'm Eczema. How are you? Also, you know what's really pretty sounding that's just terrible?
Chlamydia.
Chlamydia, exactly. The chlamydia's a pretty name. Like, I named my daughter Chlamydia, but no.
No. Besides, sometimes sitting there telling us what to do and everything else.
Come here, little chlamydia.
I mean, you could just call it clam for short.
Yeah, I'll just make it really redneck and be like, Clamadiah.
Just want to shorten it out and everything else, because when you add the A at the end and everything else, it makes
Clamadiah.
You're like, Clammy! Clammy, come home!
I knew, being, living in Houston is like Houston is the fourth largest city in the United States, but also like it's weird how like modernized but so redneck that people are around here. Like I knew several people named Jed. I knew a Clem. I knew all the old people names you hear from like Little House on the Prairie and stuff. Like I knew kids with those names.
Joy's right. I forgot about the also glorious latrine.
Latrine. Oh, it's yeah.
Latrine.
That is a really pretty name. One of my favorite words that sounds dirty but isn't is kumquat. Because it sounds gross, but I don't even know if I've actually eaten kumquats. But I mean, I know it's it's a fruit and people enjoy it. It just sounds gross.
It's kind of like, I really stopped insulting people with profanity anymore. Now I just use everyday words like pro-laxatus. That really gets the point across.
Yeah. I've been meaning to get on an adult website and search for jackfruit because that just sounds like a sexual position.
So jackfruit is something that I need to bring into this house, but I'm afraid that if I do, I'll get evicted. Because when it's ripe, it smells like hot garbage.
Mm-hmm.
It smells so bad.
Yeah. We saw, there's that, and there's the other one too that smells really bad, but it's really tasty. Jackfruit is something else, but we were out at an Asian market doing some grocery shopping just the other day, and they had these massive jackfruit. I don't even know what pods. I don't know. Whatever they're called, just jackfruit. They were massive. I didn't realize they were that big. And they're spiky.
I kind of want to be one and everything else. I feel like it would be like a good explosive fruit grenade and things like that at Targets. Okay,
Yeah.
so we got Phoenix Rising saying jackfruit is love, but oh my god, it's a pain in the ass to prep. You know, so I saw that there was like jackfruit in a can. I saw like some other vegan cooking shows where they had like canned jackfruit. I was like, oh great, so then it's condensed farts in tin.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I remember like being a kid, the only place you could buy like stink bombs was like the flea market and the ice cream truck. And I don't even know if they sell those anymore, but now I'm gonna have to find these jackfruit cans just so I can like crack it open and chuck it in a crowd and run away.
Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, puny mortals of all ages, we should let you know that we are at the 5-minute mark before we are closing down the show. And then there's this like really annoying like Skabz the Clown with this stupid podcast for stupid people coming up right after this. So you don't actually have to go home. You don't have to stay here. Wait, I mean, you do have to stay here, and you can't leave your home unless you're essential because it's quarantine. But that will be kicking off in about 5 minutes. But while we've got y'all and everything else for the last few 5 minutes and everything else before the show changes over into formats, if you've got any questions you'd like to ask myself or 8-Ball, if you would like to chime in with a disco note so we could, dance and twirl for you, we are down for I'm here to ask any questions. I know I don't want to leave, but actually, you know what? While we are waiting for the questions to the continental show. Meanwhile, while we're waiting for the questions to pop into the chat room, Skabz, do you want to talk about the Skabz and the stupid show? Like, I think you know more about it than I do.
Yeah. So Skabz, one of the weird things, it's spelled really dumb. Like, I mean, Skabz, like, yeah, he's a clown. They don't really, like, you can't really spell. They didn't really go to school. They're uneducated, really dumb people. But, like, it's weird that, like, for as dumb as he is, there's still people that pronounce his name wrong. I've heard Stabs, Shabs, Shabazz, Scapes. It's ridiculous. I'm sure people have like messed up your name. Like, have you ever gotten like Boobzilla? Oh man, that's gonna be my daughter's name, Boobzilla.
I like that one actually. I think I'm gonna change it right now. And I was just gonna be like, so do they pronounce it as Skabz? But I mean, the way that you did it before and everything else, it sounded close to Scabies, which is also really attractive. I like that name. It's a very pretty name, Scabies.
I actually know a Skabz the Clown, and fuck Skabz the Clown. I don't know if that'll get back to him, but I hope it does, because fuck Skabz the Clown. And I mean that in a loving way. No, Skabz is part of a clown town out in New Orleans. Those guys are really fun.
Oh, that's cool. We've got people talking about waxing mustaches during season and talking about, okay, so yeah, I do have confirmation that the canned jackfruit is terrible. So I feel like we should get a can and open it up and have a reaction to like terrible fart instead of can.
There's this, you can always find like the weirdest stuff in a can. Like, I got a Facebook advertisement the other day that like it made me like double take because it was eagle in a can. And I'm like, the fuck? And like I scroll back up and it's just a plush eagle that comes in a can. Pop it open and pull your little plushie out. But I thought it was, just like here's the illegal canned food. I think that was a David Tell joke. David Tell was like, people ask me like, hey Dave, you want to smoke some weed? And he's like, no, I want to do something really illegal, really illegal. I want to eat a bald eagle. Like,
I mean, if you're gonna go for it, I guess you might as well go all the way.
Yeah, in for a penny, in for a pound.
So, all right, so there's 2 canned jackfruits, young and in brine, and 1 in syrup. All right, well then let's open both at the same time and let's make it horrible.
Yeah. See who pukes first. Yeah, there's like, what is it, like in somewhere in Asia, Japan, I believe, like they're not allowed on like subway systems or in like any kind of public transportation. like jackfruit, just because like
Dirty.
it smells. It's bad.
I do. I actually do remember, Monty Mike. I do remember spending the night at the parents' house and being surrounded by bugs and being like, "This is how I die," and it was awesome. I thought it was good. I want to eat the brain of a gorilla that knows sign language. You're awful. Going right to hell. But
it's like the third Congo reference this weekend.
For real. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We are going to go ahead and be back next Saturday with the Boob Toob, same bat time, same bat channel. I want to thank y'all for featuring me, all yours truly on your screen, and of course allowing 8-Ball to come in and share some memories. Like I said, we are going to go ahead and set up the show and everything else for Skabz the Clown with a fairly stupid show with fairly stupid people, and we hope to see you soon. In the meantime, thank y'all. Peace out.